Hey, busy business people. I am here today with another entrepreneur taking action, Robert Kennedy III. Robert helps entrepreneurs tell their stories on stages and on video so they can attract and close more of their ideal customers. And I'm getting the scoop today on how he does it. So stay tuned. Okay, so Robert, telling story on stages and video, why is that important?
Why is that important?
Well, do me a favor, Christina. I'm a speaker, and so one of the things that I do when I come on stage is I bring a little bit of energy. So I just need you to do me a favor and just say, "Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Robert Kennedy III."
All right, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Robert Kennedy III.
Robert Kennedy III.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Listen, I just, how many of us would love to enter a room with like our own band or theme music, just following you? You enter every space and everybody just knows you're there because they're not identifying your face, they're identifying your theme music. They're like, oh, Robert's here, Christina's here, let's go.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I remember back in the day there was a T-shirt on Thingy. You could like program it with like songs and you could push which one. So when you're walking around, it's like, yeah, I wanted one of those back in the day.
Yeah. So you totally asked the question. I forgot what it was. Go ahead. go ahead. Go ahead. What it was.
Talking about the importance of storytelling on video and on stages. Like, why is that a thing people should do?
Well, you know what? Anybody can throw information around. Anybody can throw facts and figures around. But our goal as business owners, our goal as speakers is to be memorable. And what better way to be memorable than to share stories? We've told stories since like the beginning of time. It's how we've transmitted family histories before photo albums and Flickr became a thing, right? We how do we share information? We shared information through stories. That's how we remember stuff. So I don't know, we got grown and we got into this businessy world, and we're kind of like, yeah, we gotta figure out the figures and the facts and the statistics and the data. And we're like, dude, no, nobody's interested in that. They really want to know how it connects with them. They want to know the emotions, the feelings, and stories bring feelings and emotions.
Yep, I think one thing that you mentioned there too, that there's kind of the negative side of stories too, though, that I would love to kind of hear your thoughts on. Like, as more and more people have tried to weave their stories into their presentations from stages,
Yeah.
it's all their story, and it's not about like them and how the audience can connect. And so, like, you mentioned that, and I was like, I want to grab on that for a minute.
Yeah. So that's super important because the whole goal of you being in front of a group of people is not to give them your information. It's to connect with an issue or a challenge or a problem that they're having. And then hopefully, as a business owner, you're the person that will solve it, or you have an idea, a resource, a tool, a product that can help solve it. But the first thing is about the audience. The best stories are about them, not us. Right. And so even if you are telling your personal story, what is the connection? What is the relevance to the audience? Everybody's on, we've heard this statement before. Everybody's tuned into We FM, right? What's in it for me? Right.
Yep.
And so that's the lens that they approach it with. So how can you connect even when you're telling a personal story?
I think that is like so important. I love that. And it's like one thing I would love to see done away with when speakers present is their big bio monologue. As soon as they come out on stage,
that is
they
the
come out
worst.
with the monologue, and it's just like, I've
No.
forgotten why I'm even here.
Yeah, that is the worst. As a matter of fact, one of the things when people come to me, they say, "Hey, Robert, how can I engage my audience right from the beginning?" I say, do not ever say, "Good morning, my name's Christina, and I'm here to talk about blah 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 blah." Right? That's so boring.
Yeah.
What is one of the best ways? Well, let me give you a cheat code really quickly. Let's go back to brain science. I was a science teacher for like 10 years. right? And so that's kind of like cool for me. So brain science, in scientific theory, there's this response that our brain has called instinctive elaboration. And what that means, and here's the cheat code, people, it means that anytime a question is asked, our brains can't help but answer it, right? So if I want to engage my audience immediately, is there a question that I can ask right up top that allows them to begin playing a video in their brain or create an image in their brain? Because here's what the mind does. When you start to speak, the mind is like flipping through its mental Rolodex saying, hey, do I want to experience that? Have I experienced that? Do I not want to experience that? How the heck is this important to me? How does this connect with me? And if it doesn't, then immediately they're like, we're off and we're not listening. I'm going to start scrolling on Tinder, not Tinder. No, swipe right. No, sorry. All right. They're starting to scroll. They're starting to do something else. So you've got to figure out how to engage their brains, not on you, but inside of their own experience right from the very beginning, so that they then give you permission to speak with them or to share with them for like 30 seconds more. And then you got to do it again.
Yep, and I want to point out something that you just did. I know we're talking about speaking and engaging your audience, and you just wove in an element of bio, an element of story, saying that you were a science teacher, but then you also prefaced, before you kind of explained it and went into a little bit more detail, you're like, I'm going to give you the cheat code to capturing engagements, and then you dove in. So it's like you hooked, wove in bio, gave the details to back it up. It's like that's the sign of an experienced speaker, because you'll watch some of the best ones. That's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
So I love that.
But you got to get people's attention. I mean, and we do it. We're online, right? What are the things that we click on? Something that is like clickbaity or something that gets our attention. And all of the best copy editors, marketers, that's what they know. We're like, we got to get their attention. We got to give them some reason to click on this, so that then we can give them the info, right? And so, yeah.
And we want to feel good. I mean, you started off this episode with some music and some explosions and some laughs, and it just sets the tone for the whole thing. It's like when you look at what we engage with on social media, there's a reason why it's cat videos and happy little babies and dogs, because it gives us the happy feelings. If you see someone that's just constantly talking about how bad things are, like, you can have a little bit of negative content, but most of it's got to be positive. And when you look at what a lot of speakers do with their story, they're like 70% all of the struggle bus, and how everything sucked in was negative. And then at the last pivotal moment, they had a $1 million napkin idea at the bottom of a glass of beer in a bar while they were sad, and now they're a millionaire. And
that's the thing. No, most people can't relate to that. Most people are not going to have a $1 million napkin idea, right? Most people are like, listen, I woke up this morning, I poured a bowl of like Fruity Pebbles, and I'm having, I'm going about the rest of my day here, right? I drove to work, I did whatever, I'm going about the rest of my day. What is it that I can do to have an amazing day, or what is it that I can do to solve an issue or challenge or problem that I care about? So, I'll flip to the left side of that, in that a lot of people are nervous about telling their stories because they don't feel like their stories are dramatic or big enough. And the truth is, most of us don't need all of that. We just need regular stuff that connects with us. One of the stories that I tell, and I won't go into it just yet, but a story that I tell is about how I learned to ride my bicycle at the age of 8. And I connect that with like a whole host of experiences that managers and anybody can really connect with. So
yeah, and those are some of the best.
I'll tell it later if you want me to tell it.
Right? I mean, it's like they don't kick off the presentation with this big lengthy bio. They're just like, maybe here's a few bullet points for why you should listen to me. Like, I've spoke on so many stages, or I've been a speaker for so many years, and I'm going to talk to you about why you should be, what you should do better as a speaker. Ta-da, done, connect, move on. And then you weave all the other little stories in as you connect them to points and learning moments, and it's just, it feels good, it feels comfortable, it takes you out of like listening to your third grade teacher go wah when there's like little interruptions of story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know, like, we just kind of spoke to one thing with the kind of the imposter syndrome with speaking, where it's like,
Yeah.
what do I do if I don't have the big story? And what do I do if I'm not that engaging? And holy crap, they've just listened to a bunch of things. Like, how do you intentionally do all of that? It's scary. It's
Yeah.
intimidating. What kind of tips do you have for somebody that's like wanting to, but doesn't know how to get started with like speaking or video and doing it the right way?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that a lot of my public speaking clients, they come and they ask the question, "Hey, Robert, can you tell me how to get rid of the nerves?" And my response is, our job isn't to get rid of the butterflies; it's just to help them fly in formation, right? So you've got this energy that's inside of you that our brains interpret as fear, our brains interpret it as anxiety, and it's really biologically the same chemicals that are happening in your body when you're excited. So the difference is what you tell your brain to do with that information. So if you're feeling a certain way when you start to speak, it's not, "Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh, I'm so afraid." It's, "Oh my gosh, I'm super excited about what's going to happen next. I'm going to serve the heck out of these people. And I'm excited about the information that I have to give to them." So reframing what you're feeling physiologically is an important piece of that at the beginning. And I forgot what the question was again. What did you say? My mind is going. You were like, how do they not be nervous or something of that?
Just the fear of it, just getting over it, from public speaking to creating more videos and things like that. Like just getting past it and doing it.
Well, yeah. Well, the fear, I mean, the feeling never totally goes away. I mean, I've been speaking for a long time. I still get up on stages and there's still this feeling that I feel. Right? I still have the butterfly feeling sometimes. I still get a little bit jittery and I have to walk through my process. Okay, what is this? Why am I feeling this way? What do I need to do with the energy that I'm feeling right here? Right. So, a lot of people kind of saying, "Okay, my gosh, I just got to wait until I'm motivated to do it." Mm, Nike has this slogan that has been successful for like decades. Just do it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like you can't swim by sticking your toe in the water. That doesn't work. Right? In order to swim, you got to get into the water. If there's anything that you want to do, if there's anything that you want to accomplish, at some point you just got to do it. There's this movie called We Bought a Zoo, and there's this line in there that I love, and it's like, to do anything great, all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Right? Anybody can do 20 seconds. It's not that long of a time. If you can be courageous for 20 seconds, you can do anything great. So just decide that you're going to do it.
I had one lady I interviewed, Katie Gall, and she said that the secret is just to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's like, I keep hearing her in my head when I'm doing things now. It's like when I first started speaking, I didn't seek out to be a speaker. I got invited to the business development center in the area and the local chamber of commerce. And like, they just saw some stuff I was doing and invited me in. I used to hyperventilate. People can't believe that I used to like hyperventilate and I get nice and fun and blotchy. So like nice red blotches all over my whole chest and like up to my neck, and I look like, red cow, and it is just absolutely terrible. I was wearing turtlenecks in the summer to hide it when I would go to speak.
Yeah. Wow.
And I just had to like connect with the audience. And these were smaller groups, like 30, 40 people. And I had to ask questions.
Yeah.
That way I could connect and kind of get to know the people in the audience. And then as I'm like doing my presentation, then I could be like, so for you, you would change it this way. And for you, you would change it this way. And then I just got on my first stage in like 2 years, like a physical one a month ago.
Yep.
And I was excited. And I didn't hyperventilate. I didn't have to watch myself and make myself not talk too fast because, like you said, I switched it. I was just so excited to be back on a stage and to be in front of, like, it was for digital marketers. So it was like my jam, my people. And I was like really excited. It just wasn't as terrifying. I thought I would be terrified.
But and you did, when you were nervous though, you used the cheat code. Mm-hmm. You asked questions. Mm-hmm. So what happens when you ask a question? What does the audience do? They're not focused on you anymore. right? They're focused on themselves. They're figuring out what their brain is saying to them. And part of the reason that we're fearful in the first place is because we're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to say something and they're going to laugh at me. They're going to all point and go, nah, 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 right? They're going to do all of that stuff. And I'm going to mess up. I'm going to forget what I'm saying. And sometimes that mess up is really authenticity, right? And us accepting our flawed selves. The other day, like 2 weeks ago, I am president for a volunteer for an organization, and we were doing a session, and I had to present some awards. And when it came time, so the awards were named after people who were in the organization like way before I got there, and somebody was supposed to put together the bios so that I could present the award, and for some reason it didn't happen. So they were like, Robert, just go up and wing it. And so I go up and I got a couple of notes and I totally flub it. I totally messed this thing up. And, I just kind of was up there. I laughed at myself. I was like, OMG, I'm supposed to know this stuff. And I totally don't. Is there anybody in the audience that wants to come up and share it and do this? Right. And so now everybody's cracking up and, they're laughing, they're doing it, and then I go back and I read the awards and I kind of invite the award winner onto the stage. But it was just that point where I'm like, listen, I'm not taking myself too seriously, right? I'm here, I'm doing this thing. Everybody is in this room is human, right?
Yeah.
At least I hope so, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in here is human and they know what it's like to have made a mistake in their life. So I just own the mistake. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't good. That was terrible, Robert. Yeah, let's do that again, right? And the more that you can own those moments, the more real, the more authentic you are, the more you connect with people because they're like, yeah, Robert is not this unapproachable, unattainable person. Christina's not unattainable. Christina's sharing her story and she's being real with it. And I can too.
Yep. Well, no, I get at least a few people a week that are like, "Oh, I thought about dyeing my hair, but I thought people wouldn't take me professionally, or I wouldn't look serious enough, or what." And people take me
Yeah.
plenty serious enough. Like I don't lose any credibility points because my hair is blue. It's just me. It's been that way for 8 years. It's gonna stay that way until I fry it on that falls out or something. But
Yeah.
it's just I love what you said about being authentic because I think that's one of the biggest things when we're afraid of being on stage or afraid of being on video. It's like being weird and screwing up actually helps attract the right people.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
none
Your
of us want
vibe
clients that are
attracts your
hard to
tribe.
manage, right? And it's like if you attract a client who's going to get upset because you tripped on a video or tripped on a stage and said something weird, that's not
your
somebody you
crew.
want to work with.
Right. Yeah. 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 Your vibe attracts your tribe. I mean, you're really being you allows the people that connect with you, the people that are magnetized to you, that they'll find you because you're just being you and you're comfortable in that space. And most people aren't there yet and they want to learn how to do that. And they're attracted to the fact that you're able to do it.
Yep. Oh, that is so true. That is such a good point. So I know we're kind of coming up on time. But like, what other kind of tips or advice would you have for people that are trying to do more with speaking and video?
Well, so we already said just do it. I think the other thing is, and you know this from a personal branding perspective, what is the message that you really believe you're meant to share with the world? What are you passionate about? What is the thing that you could talk about for hours, or the thing that you can talk about without preparation? And maybe the question is, when people think about you, what do they associate with you, right? When people say Robert, they're, oh, Robert's the communication guy, Robert's the storytelling guy, right? Robert loves technology. Also, so they're, depending on what group I'm in, those are the main things that people say about me, right? What is it that people say about you? And then how can you utilize that stuff to teach people? Because there's something that you take for granted that you do like super easy. You're like, oh, why would anybody else pay for this? Why would anybody want to know about this? And there are people that are like, oh my gosh, that is so amazing. I don't know how to do that. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
Right? So look for that. Look for the thing that you are maybe taking for granted that you're amazing at. Begin to share that, because uh, that comfort zone, that level of connection to this skill, this ability, is also going to make it a little bit easier for you to share with your audience without having to be nervous about whether you know this thing or not.
Yep. I know this one thing that I've
I
started
know that's one
advising
thing that I've
people on, and
started
something I've
advising
started doing
people on, and something
myself,
I've started
is
doing
like
myself,
when you're
is
having
like
those
when you're
conversations and
having those
people are just blown
conversations and
away,
people are just blown away,
writing
Yeah.
down what you were talking
writing down
about
what you were talking
and
about
what the
Yep.
reaction
and what the
was.
reaction was.
Like I was
Yes.
doing an
Like I
AMA
was
this
doing an
morning, and I
AMA
was
this
talking
morning, and
about
I was
how you
talking
can use your
about
personal
how you can
brand
use your personal
to like
brand to
establish a
like
business and grow it,
establish a
as well as
business and
how you
grow it,
start
as well as how
separating
you
yourself
start
from your
separating
company
yourself from your company,
so that
Yeah.
your company,
so that your
is
company,
scalable and is
is
sellable.
scalable and is
Because if you're
sellable.
still in it
Yep.
in
Because
the
if
day to
you're
day
still
and
in
you're
it in
the
the day
main
to
reason
day
it
and you're
has new
the main reason it
clients,
has new clients,
you can't sell it. So I was
you
talking about
can't
that
sell it. So
whole
I was talking about
flow.
that whole
And then one
flow.
of the ladies on the
And
AMA was
then
like,
one of the
I
ladies on the AMA
love
was like, I
that you were
love
thinking
that
about
you
it
were thinking
from all
about
those
it
levels.
from all those levels.
Yep.
And it's like that was what
And it's
impressed
like
her. It
that was
wasn't
what
what
impressed
I
her. It
said.
wasn't
It
what
was the
I
fact that I
said.
was
It was the
looking
fact that I
at
was
like a
looking
10-year
at like a
evolution
10-year evolution
of a personal
Yeah.
brand in a
of a
business.
personal brand in a business.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's like jotting that kind of
So
stuff
it's like
down,
jotting that
like
kind of
that
stuff
turns into the
down,
things
like
that you
that turns
talk
into the
about.
things that you talk about.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And figure out what questions people are asking. I mean, there are a lot of neat resources. Answerthepublic.com, Google Trends, using Amazon search.
I mean, even
Excuse me. Are we
nowadays,
gonna?
like
Are we
looking
gonna?
at the
Nowadays,
recordings
like
of
looking
your
at the
own
recordings of your
meetings with
own
clients and
Yeah.
stuff, because we're
clients
using
and
Zoom
stuff,
Yeah.
and stuff
because
so
we're
much
using
now and
Zoom
it's
and stuff so
recorded.
much now and it's
It's like
recorded.
just
Yep.
pull up the
It's
transcript
like
and do a
just pull up
search
the
for
transcript
question
and do a
marks.
search for question marks.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to literally scroll through it. Just use the shortcuts, people. Control F.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and you can figure out what the question marks are. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
done that like in YouTube comments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to, like YouTube comments,
like
or
YouTube comments,
go.
or,
There's a lot of people now that go
there's a lot of
live
people now that go
for like
live
AMAs.
Yep.
for like AMAs.
And
Mhm.
especially on YouTube, you can
And
actually
especially on
search the
YouTube, you can
transcript. So you
actually
can
search
view
the
the
transcript.
transcript
So you
and
can
search
view the
it and
transcript
look at
and
all the
search it and
questions.
look at
So
all the
even if it's
questions.
not your
So even
content,
if
you can
it's
look at
not your
someone
content,
else's
you can look at
content
someone else's
that's
content
putting that kind of
Yep.
stuff out, and
that's
kind of
putting
just
that
search
kind
for
of
the
stuff out, and
questions
kind of
and
just
see
search
what's
for the
coming out. Like
questions
it's
and
such
see
a
what's coming
powerful
out.
way
Like it's
to
such a powerful way
figure out what to talk
to
about.
figure out what to talk about.
Yep. Yep. Answer people's questions, solve their problems, help them, and they're not going to focus on you as much. They're focusing on how they can solve their issue.
And we've even started doing something now when people are trying to figure out what to talk about and how to position themselves as an expert, where we
Yeah.
start by planning a book. So it's like if you're trying to help one
So it's
person accomplish one goal, and you're writing the book as the expert on helping that person do that thing, what would we put in the book?
What would we
And
put
we
in the
start
book?
mapping out
Right.
the
And we
sections
start
and the
mapping out the
chapters,
sections and the
and then kind of the
chapters,
gist of
and then
each
kind of the
chapter,
gist of each
and you end up with a
chapter,
really
and you end up with
powerful
a really
content plan.
powerful content
So it's
plan.
like you
Yep.
plan your book, and
So
then
it's
you
like you
go
plan your
produce
book,
all
and
of
then you
that
go
content.
produce
Go
all
make
of
blog
that
articles. Go
content.
make
Go make blog
videos.
articles.
Go
Go
make
make
emails. Put it
videos.
out in
Go
the
make
world. Go
emails.
make
Put it out in the
signature
world.
talks
Go
and
make
presentations.
signature talks and
Then
presentations.
come back
Yep.
and turn all
Then
that into your
come
book.
back and turn all that into your book.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
fun little strategy that we've
Fun
worked
little
out, but
strategy
it
that we've
seems
worked
to
out, but
frame
it
it
seems
well,
to
so people
frame it
create the
well, so
content that
people
they need to
create the
create
content that
and
they need
actually
to create
position the way they
Yeah.
want
and
to
actually
position.
position the way they want to position.
So that's been
Yeah.
really
And
helpful.
That's been really helpful.
that's huge. I mean, I think a lot of us struggle with content repurposing, because we're like, oh my gosh, I got to write a blog post, and then I got to put it on LinkedIn, then I got to put it on Facebook, and then I got to put it on Twitter and Instagram, and oh my gosh, I got to create a TikTok about it too.
Yep, chop it up into all the
Yep, chop it
shorts.
up
Like
into
I
all
got
the
to make, a
shorts.
couple
Like
of
I gotta
Instagram
make, a
reels.
couple
I got to
Instagram
make some like
reels. I gotta
no
make
more than
some
3 minute
no more
TikToks,
than
no more than
3 minute
minute and a half
TikToks, no
IG
more than minute and a
reels,
half
no more
IG
than a
reels, no
minute for
more than
YouTube
a minute for
shorts.
YouTube
Yep.
shorts.
And then they end up doing stupid
And
stuff.
then they end up doing stupid
So
stuff.
they just take a video and
So
they're like,
they
I'm
just
just
take
going
a
to cut
video
out
and they're
like
like, I'm
five
just gonna
1 minute
cut out like
segments.
5 1 minute
And they're
segments.
not even like
And
complete
they're
Right.
not
thoughts,
even like complete
or
thoughts,
Yeah.
or
it just kind of cuts it out.
it
And
just
it's
kind
like,
of cuts it
just
out. And
make
it's
it a
like,
complete
just make it
segment
a
and
complete
put it on
segment
whatever
Yeah.
and put it on
platform will
whatever
accept it.
platform will accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. For a lot of people, I mean, here's a resource we can share as well, if you don't mind. There's software like Descript or Pictory
Mhm.
that if you upload video into them, they'll pull out the transcript, and you can literally highlight the portions just in the text that you want to create video from. And so if you're like, I want to create a 60-second video of a thought, but there's like some stuff in between that I didn't really want as a part of the thought, you can just highlight the text that you actually want and then generate some highlight videos from that and then pop that into your social media.
Yep, Descript is one that I've been recommending for a long time, and there's a new update coming that's going to make it even more powerful.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that one with the storyboards.
Yeah.
That's going to be fantastic.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, you know, I geek out on some of that stuff too.
Oh, I do too. I keep trying not to because I'm like, I should be letting my staff handle that kind of stuff, but it's like, it's fun.
Yeah, I like to play a little bit. You got to play. Keeps the joy alive.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's the point too, right? To scale your business in a way where you do the things you actually enjoy and you stop doing the things you don't. It's to have choices and options in what you do in a day.
Absolutely.
So, oh man, this has been so great. It's obvious you know your stuff, and you're like demonstrating it and sharing the tips. So, how do you help people? Who do you help? How do you help them? Where do they find you?
So my website is robertkennedy3.com. We help people, as I think we mentioned at the beginning, teach small business owners how to tell their stories on stage and on video so they can attract their ideal audience and generate more income. We do that in a variety of ways through workshops, through keynotes, through seminars, through online courses. And recently, we've been doing that a lot in the real estate industry. So that's kind of that's a main focus of ours these days. But we absolutely love working with business owners who are like, man, I need to be able to create greater impact, or I feel like the world's best kept secret right now. I need to create some more visibility. I need to get more eyeballs on my stuff. We help people to do that on video, and not just saying, hey, stick a camera in front of your face and then record something. We're like, no, let's help you to framework the content that you're going to share. Let's create the story that you're going to tell, not just the once upon a time, but the actual arc of everything, so that you can then end with a call to action that drives people to action because you connected with their heart and their emotions and their actual need.
Oh, that is so powerful. I love that you mentioned that. Having a call to action at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that so many people forget. Or they try and just like tack on something random at the end. Like they haven't really thought it all the way through, and they're like, well, I have this ebook. Let's just tack this on. And it's not relevant to the story. It's not a logical next step.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so awesome. And I'll make sure the link to your website. I think it's the number 3, right? Robert Kennedy.
The number 3, yes. Not Roman numeral, alphanumeric. Yeah, Robert Kennedy.
I'll make sure the link is wherever you're watching this video, because we put it out all over the place. I will make sure that the link is easily accessible.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on. This has been absolutely great. You've had awesome tips, and you've demonstrated this perfectly.
Thanks, Christina. I appreciate it. This has been fabulous.
Awesome. So, entrepreneurs, this is your call to take action as well. If you want to learn from other people just like Robert, head over to etatoday.zone and learn how to build a business that enables your lifestyle instead of taking over your life. Until next time.
Bye.